This video, we're going to talk about finance. If finance is something that overwhelms you, it's okay. It is one of the things that is the most important thing as far as learning how to manage your money, pay taxes, how to properly budget and allocate funds, and it is not taught. It's not taught in our school systems, and most parents don't teach their kids because honestly, they don't know. So I love finance. It's something that I teach, and I actually run a course showing you how to run your home business or your home finances just like running a business. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to break it down and take it overhead and show you the basics of budgeting and how you can adopt the STARTplanner system and using its finance section in order to change your life and giving you more financial freedom. Let's go overhead and I will show you exactly how to use it. Okay, so this is the finance and saving aspect of our STARTplanner system. Financial abundance and planning gives you the freedom to give more and do more. This area will help you to create financial goals. We're going to focus on liquidity and help you to be aware of current cash assets, current liability, building budgets to support financial freedom. So how this is going to work is we have an overview here. We have estimated versus actual and then the allocation. You will see that there's month 1, 2, 3. If you have the dated yearly version, you will see there are 12 months. You have current cash assets, which is liquidity, and then current liabilities, which is debt. So this is money that you have, this is debt that you have or money that you owe. And often we don't look at our credit score, and credit score is the ability to borrow, and it just has so much impact. So I teach a lot about credit score. So I want you to make sure you're looking at your credit score. If you're doing things to rebuild it, you're constantly looking at that. So what we're going to talk about is building budgets out a quarter at a time. So every single month you will see that there is a budget sheet, okay? And any extra expenses such as investments, projects, or vacations, you basically will just add additional lines to that expense for that month. So if you know that this month you're going to be traveling, you would add that as an expense, your estimated. And so the reason we have estimated versus actual is because things happen. Sometimes we have variable costs that change. A lot of times if we are, we have a cell phone bill, we pretty much know what our cell phone bill is going to be every month. But electricity, we might not. It might just be an estimate and then the actual. But a lot of times we can look at past data and past stuff in order to have a really close estimate. The goal is to have a close estimate so that you can build a budget that you know where this number is going to be, this savings and this loss. So let me go back and kind of explain all of this. So I want you to list out your current cash assets. So listing out checking account 1, this is the interest rate, or savings account 2, this is that. Or if you've got money in stocks, like what is that current interest rate? Here's the balance, and every single month we are either going to go up or down on this balance. Then you're going to do the same thing with your liabilities. So listing out credit card 1, credit card 2. If you need more spaces for either of these, you can use additional notes that are available throughout the planner to do that, or just get another piece of paper and insert it in here. But listing out your current liabilities, knowing what your interest rate is at, what that balance is at, and again, curating a plan to pay that down. So if you have a credit card here, that is a monthly charge that you are going to have to at least pay the minimum. So that's going to be an expense here. So it's going to back into everything going here. So I'm going to go here and explain it. So you've got income. What money is coming in? So if you've got 2 payroll checks, or if you've got a dual income, if this is for a household, you might have 3. If you've got alimony or dividends or anything, child support here, you've got your estimated versus actual, right? Again, if you are someone that's on salary, you're going to know pretty much what the estimated versus actual is. But if you're someone that lives on commission, you might not. You have estimated and then what it actually is. That might be a plus or a minus. Your expenses, you should know what your general expenses of categories are. So listing those out, pre-filling them in, and again, estimated versus actual. So the closer that you can get to knowing what that estimated and actual is. So then this is just a place to mark them paid off. At the end, you're gonna have your total income, actual will go here. Your total expenses, actual will go here. Then it's going to be this amount. So let's say your total income was $5,000. Okay? Your total expenses, let's say your total expenses was $4,000. So you're gonna have $1,000 savings. Does that make sense? So now let's talk about if it was different. Let's say if you only brought in $3,000, but your expenses were $4,000. Then you would have a loss, a $1,000 loss. Okay, so then going back to our finance section, let's talk through the scenario that we had the $1,000 loss. So this month, let's say this is January, we estimated we would break even, but we actually didn't make as much money at work, so we actually had a loss of $1,000. So what happens, you can either do, I like doing the quotes, but you also can just do a negative. So what happens is, so let's say you had Wells checking over here, and it's at hardly no interest rate, but let's say you had $5,000 in it. You have to take out $1,000 because this 5,000 went to Wells to cover the loss. So this balance is now going to be 4,000. I'm just going to put 4K. I'm being sloppy because I'm talking and I'm not like being intentional but I also don't have that great of handwriting. It's just the nature of what it is. It doesn't matter what your handwriting, if it's beautiful, if it's not, it matters creating a plan. So let's talk through another scenario. Let's say that budget, you had the $1,000 extra. So let's back it back into that. So then you have two choices, right? Let's say you have American Express and you owe, gosh, it's at like a 26% rate. And let's say you owe, I don't know, $3,000. That's your balance. You have $1,000 extra. You got two choices. You can either add that $1,000 to the Wells Fargo and making that $6,000, or you can add the $1,000 to the AMX, getting that balance down to $2,000. So your allocation would then be the AMX for that extra $1,000. Because that's for the positive 1,000. Whoop. So basically, it goes down to looking at it's numbers, it's simple. And sometimes we don't really know what we're spending, where we're spending, all those different things. So making sure you're putting pen to paper and numbers and building out projections. If you don't know what your next quarter of budgets looks like, where your money's going, this can help you create a system so that you do know. So here's a couple examples of other people that have used it. So you can see this is actually color coded. So you've got to see necessity versus not necessity. Like, so you can see hair appointment, airplane tickets, nails, eating out. So you can see this is like I have to pay. This is I want. This is a need versus a want system. And I love the way that they did this. So you can see the income, then they're listing out their expenses, and that's backing that into the budget. So here's one way that you can do it. And here is another example. This is looking at the estimated versus actual, the allocation, where you're going to be sticking it, the retirement, paying off a credit card. You can see that month by month, this just kind of goes in and out, negative or positive, and then looking at their credit score. This is just another example for you. I hope this helps just to understand the basics of budgeting. just take some time, get with someone that can hold you accountable. Maybe you're in a household and you do your finances together. Take some time to look back and budget your finances forward so that you're not just winging it or you're not just living paycheck to paycheck, but you really are curating a plan and knowing what you are doing and how you're spending it, what's your overhead, and all of those details so that you are more equipped to make the decisions that you can make in your life. I love finances. I'm super passionate about it. And if you want to learn more, you can check out startknowingmynumbers.com. And on the next video, we are going to dive into wellness and self-care. Let's keep going. Wellness and self-care is the foundation of productivity. If we are not taking care of ourselves, we're not going to be the best version of ourselves. We're not going to feel as well. We're not going to be as productive, but it often is the thing that goes first. Learning to balance that, learning to say no, learning to what we need, who we are, setting boundaries is hard, especially in our busy life and our demanding lives. It's not an easy thing. So I'm going to talk you through wellness and self-care and why it is a huge part of our STARTplanner system. And I'm going to show you the different tools and features that we have in here so that it is a prompt to your mind and your body that you are taking care of yourself. Mentally, physically, spiritually, because all of that works together. Okay, so wellness and self-care. I'm going to quickly go through this because a lot of it is wellness and self-care. You will see there is a daily legend. This is for inspiration, quote, scripture. This is for your learning. This is water intake. This is spiritual, taking care of your spirit, including your heart and your mind. This is tracking sleep. This is supplements or medicine that you need to take, exercise, energy, menu, and finances. So let's look. Every single one of the planners have a example page showing you how to use it. So the self-care. This is inspiration, getting your mind right and being inspired for the day, making sure you're focusing on gratitude, and then a prioritized to-do list. Creating a to-do list is so mentally freeing. It allows you to move forward and time block out your day and your life. And then down here is an entire section of self-care. What are you going to be doing that day? Are you going to be meditating? Are you going to be working out? Are you going to be doing CrossFit class? Are you going to be doing yoga? How are you going to grow and learn that day? Is it one new skill set that you need to learn? Is it one YouTube or one podcast you're going to listen to? And then tracking your water intake to make sure you're getting enough water, which is essential for health. This is looking at sleep. So part of planning is looking back, not just forward. So planning forward also means looking back on your prior schedules and seeing, I didn't have as much energy today. Why is that? Is that because I wasn't eating as well? Is that because I didn't get enough sleep? All those different things. So this is tracking to see if you're getting enough sleep. This is making that space for your meditation, your spiritual growth, supplements in the AM and PM, and working out if you worked out that day. And again, looking at your energy. So I like this to do a scale of 1 to 10. So it was your energy an 8, was your energy a 4, and why was it? Was it a good day? Was it a bad day? And how it all kind of works together. taking care of yourself is essential, and so much of planning out your schedule and time blocking and your to-do list and thriving in productivity and wellness, it all works together. So I hope that by knowing what these symbols mean, by knowing how the system is, it helps to prompt you every single day, because life happens and we get busy and we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to drink enough water. We forget, like, we're not getting enough sleep. We're not taking our supplements. We're forgetting, all these different things. That's why this is such a big section, and it's every single day, because self-care and wellness is a non-negotiable. Now that we have looked at wellness and self-care, I'm going to actually create another video diving into meal planning and groceries, which is part of self-care. What we eat is such a huge thing to our health and our body and our mind, but I am going to show you a way that you can not let meal planning and groceries be a daunting thing, and create a system and a routine and a habit that can work for you in your life so that you are feeling better and eating better. So we're going to dive into that in the next video.